Hello beautiful people, welcome back to Tech Education in Early Childhood, your weekly deep dive into the world where tiny fingers meet big futures. I am your host, Anointed Olusumboye. You probably know me online as Anointed Excel, and you are tuned into Amogate Radio Communications. But before we dive into today's episode, let's take a moment to reflect on what we have started last week. In week 1, we explored the urgent global crisis that nobody is talking about enough. The global crisis of delayed digital literacy and why early tech education isn't optional anymore. We unpacked the painful realities that millions of children across the world are missing, the most critical window for building digital fluency, and the early years of age 0 to 7. We talked about a mother in Lagos still struggling with Excel at 35, a father in rural India learning to use a smartphone for the first time at age 40, and an 8-year-old child in Detroit already falling behind tech skills, not because they are lazy, not because they are not smart, but because no one taught them early enough. And here is the thing we made clear: digital literacy is no longer luxury. It is a basic. They are fundamental and foundational skills, just like reading, writing, and maths. We also explored what digital literacy actually means: being able to navigate, create, communicate, and think critically in digital space and not just scroll or swipe. We also shattered a few myths that early tech equals harmful screen time. Instead, we offered a new reality. Tech, when used intentionally, can spark confidence, creativity, and critical thinking from young ages. We look at real-world cases from Finland to Singapore to Rwanda, places proving that early tech education is possible even without fancy devices. And the best part came the story of a girl named Rita, a girl whose confidence was buried until creativity found her. And we ended this bold conversation with a necessary truth that states: this isn't a digital divide, it is a developmental divide, and the cost of delay is too high. So if you missed that episode, I highly recommend you go back and listen, because today we are building on that foundation. Today we are going deeper. Now this is week 2. And our episode today is titled Universal Child Development Meets Digital Reality, and what global research reveals about kids and tech readiness. I repeat today's topic. It is titled Universal Child Development Meets Digital Reality, and what global research reveals about kids and tech readiness. Now listen, if you ever caught yourself wondering, are these kids, are these children really ready for tech? Won't it fry their brains? Or even, aren't we rushing them? If yes, then today's episode is for you. Because here's the truth: children are not only ready for technology, they are wired for it. The question is, are we ready to guide them? And this statement was made by Dr. Michelle Resnick from the MIT Media Lab. And that quote right there, it's a whole conversation. So grab a drink, lean in, and let's have a real and honest discussion. Now today's episode will be divided into sections, and I would like you to follow me closely. Today's episode will be divided into sections, and I would like you to follow me closely. So for section 1, we'll begin with the reality on ground. Look, let's not sugarcoat it. Babies today are swiping before they are speaking. From a toddler in rural Kenya, singing along to phonics on a solar tablet, or a 4-year-old in Tokyo training a toy robot to follow patterns. Children are meeting tech before they even learn how to write their names. And that is not some fluke, it is the new normal. But you see, while the children are interacting naturally, a lot of our school systems, education leaders, and even some parents are still hesitant. You hear things like, are they developmentally ready? Will screen ruin their focus? What about handwriting? What about books? And honestly, I get it. The fear is real. I've sat in rooms where parents clutch their chests like coding was a virus. But the science, the data, the research and the evidence, it's telling us something totally different. They are all pointing to a new direction. Our second section is, what does tech readiness even mean? We've been talking about tech readiness for a while now. What does it even mean? Let's break it down together. When we say a child is digitally ready, what are we even talking about? We are not saying they should start doing Google Sheets at the age of 2. It's not just about putting a screen in front of them and saying go. No, digital readiness means a child can meaningfully engage with technology in ways that support their thinking, emotions and creativity, and even relationships. We are talking about digital engagements that support development. And here's the keyword, meaningfully. I'll repeat what digital readiness means. Digital readiness means a child can meaningfully engage with technology in ways that support their thinking, emotions, creativity, and relationships. We are talking about digital engagements that support development. Now, I want you to imagine this like growth stages, because kids aren't just ready or not. Their readiness evolves with their development. So let's walk through the ages slowly and naturally. First off, we have babies, which ranges from age 0 to 2. This is the age of wonder. These kids are learning cause and effect, like if I press this, something will happen. They are recognizing patterns. They are developing symbolic thinking, like knowing that a picture of a cow means moo. This is a perfect stage for things like sensory play, musical apps, and simple interactive tech that reacts when they touch it. They are learning through senses, sound, touch, cause, and effect. If you give them a musical app now, where touching the screen makes a sound, they will get it. Now moving up a bit, we have the age 3 to 4, and this is where their minds start getting curious in a structured way. They begin to understand sequence and storytelling. They can follow steps, and they can love games that have rules. This is when we start seeing algorithm thinking. Yes, at age 3. So this is the best time for digital storytelling, matching games, or even beginner programming apps like Scratch. And finally, we have those kids at age 5 to 6 years old. This is when abstract thinking kicks in. They can solve problems, they can collaborate with other children, and they are even ready for early robotics, logic games, and real computational play. So no, we are not rushing them, we are actually meeting them. A 2023 study from the Early STEM Research Journal actually said, age is a predictor for algorithm thinking levels in early childhood. Not secondary school, not college, and not university age. Childhood. Now here's the real point. We are asking if kids can handle tech. They already do. The real question is, how do we guide it? How do we structure it? Because digital readiness isn't about screen time, it is about brain time. Their brains are already ready. It is we, the adults, who are hesitating. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Homogate Founded in 2008 out of a desire to build transgenerational structures for organizations, institutions, and nations, we have worked with large businesses, international development organizations, and public sector ministries and agencies. Amogate, our uniqueness is that we do not just work for you, we work with you. For example, we do not leave you to the task after sourcing talent, but will help the new hire settle into robust leadership development programs. We are technical experts in advising and supporting institutions on strategy and leadership, artificial intelligence, strategic human resource management, public sector reform, finance, audit and tax, FAT, and strategic communications. We do all this and more out of a desire to transform nations through institutions and organizations. For further inquiries, email contact@thearmorgate.org or call +234 810 999 6666, +234 807 957 4151, and +161 0504 6026. www.thearmorgate.org. Armorgate, building to endure and transforming nations through institutions and organizations.
You're listening to Tech Education in Early Childhood on Amogate Radio Communications with me, Anointed Udusumboye. Stay with us, we are just getting into the heart of it. Now, our next section states, what does global research says? Let me tell you what global research is showing us. Let me tell you what the world is doing. In Finland, 97% of early childhood teachers are using digital games to teach logic and sequencing. In Singapore, children are introduced to AI at the age of 4 through storytelling. A study by Lego Foundation and Harvard showed that 3 years old could grasp algorithm thinking just by playing with blocks. Even in Rwanda, children in remote areas are using solar-powered tablets, and get this, they are mastering the content faster than some of their instructors. That's not because they are geniuses, it's because kids are universally wired to learn. It's developmentally natural. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD Education 2030 report puts it, cognitive flexibility and digital sense making are foundational skills for lifelong learning. I repeat, cognitive flexibility and digital sense making are foundational skills for long life learning. Can you imagine what this means in underserved schools across Nigeria, across India, and across the world? So the science is clear. Children across continents show the same kind of readiness, but while the capacity is universal, the opportunity is not. In our next section, we'll be talking about true stories and real kids. Let's bring it up with real examples. In Japan, young children are learning robotics by mixing it with cultural crafts like origami. They are building logic through traditions. They fold, they code, they blend culture with logic. Isn't that beautiful? In South Africa, there's a program called Smart Start. They use shared device in under-resourced township to teach maths and phonics in local languages. That's not digital colonialism, and I love that because it is not about tech for tech's sake, but it is tech in context. In Finland, kids start with unplugged games at 3. They do not even touch screen yet, but yet they learn logic with story cards, and by age 5 they are already using Scratch, and by 6 debugging robots. And back here in Lagos, a boy once told me, "Auntie, this app is boring. I want the one where I can build my own car." And guess what? It wasn't even 6 yet. Whether it's high-tech Japan or rural Rwanda, we are seeing the same thing. When children get the right tools at the right stage, in a way that honors their culture and curiosity, they shine. And our next session is a question that asks, what is still holding us back? Now let me talk to you about the tension. What's the real blocker? Because despite all this research, what is still holding us back? First thing, parental fear. The first thing we have is the parental fear. A lot of parents still think tech equals harm. Many parents still see screens as harmful, and yes, some are. But the real issue isn't tech, it is how we use it, and it is about brain time. Passive YouTube? No, that is actually very harmful. But guided coding games? Yes, very, very transformative. Secondly, we have teachers' confidence. See, so many teachers have told me, we have tablets, but we have no training. We don't even know where the chargers are. Many early childhood educators, whether in Brazil, India, or across the world, say they don't feel trained to teach with tech. And that's fair. We need to train teachers and not just equip them with tech or just give them tools. Now, the third one on my list is cultural resistance. Some communities see tech as a threat to heritage. They think tech will erase traditions. But here's the irony. The same kids learning how to code are also learning traditional farming, weaving, fishing, and all of that builds the same logical thinking. Children in developing regions are not less capable, they are just less resourced. And this was a statement made by UNESCO Early Learning Report in 2022. That line, please write it down somewhere, and I will repeat it. Children in developing regions are not less capable, they are just less resourced. And our next section is the shift we need. So what do we do? First thing, we need to stop asking if tech should be introduced early. I'll repeat, we need to stop asking if tech should be introduced early. That's an outdated question. The real one is, how do we do it responsibly, contextually, and equitably? How do we make it safe? And how do we make it local? We need tools that speak local languages. We need teachers who feel confident, not confused. We need to stop dumping tablets into schools and calling it transformation. We need designs that honors the child. And you know what else we need? We need to see this not as a luxury, but as a right. I'll repeat, we need to see this not as a luxury, but as a right. And this is from my heart. And here is what I want you to remember. From the child folding papers crane in Tokyo, and that one in Ibadan pressing buttons on a borrowed tablet, so the child in South Africa building stories on a laptop, they are all ready. Their brains are opened, their hands are eager, but we keep waiting for policies to catch up, waiting for fundings to appear, or even for the right time. There is no right time. The right time is now. Let me say this clearly. Children are born ready to learn. We must be ready to teach them in every language, including the digital one. So let's stop waiting. Let's build systems that match their readiness. Let's build classrooms that match their curiosity. Let's give teachers the power to lead with confidence. Let's stop fearing the digital and start shaping it with empathy, evidence, and local wisdom. Let's give tech a heart. Because when tech meets child development in the right way, We are not just preparing them for the future, we are giving them power in the present. Share this episode with an educator, a parent, or a policymaker, and drop a comment. What is one digital tool you wish you had at the age of 6? Next week on Amogate Radio Communications, we will be diving into week 3, the global parental paradox, why parents fear what their children need the most. You don't want to miss it, trust me. Until then, stay present, stay bold, and never underestimate what a 5-year-old child can do with the right tool when we believe in them. You have been listening to Tech Education in Early Childhood on Amogate Radio Communications. I am Anointed Olusunboye, and I will see you next week.